It's Move 47 is fucking underground. In today's video, we have a good one, boys. Today's video, we're gonna be talking about what happened to hyperpop. How did it just vanish off the face of the earth? Well, not vanish. How did it have such a decline after being so big? We all know what the answer to this is. Actually, we could sum up the video in literally 30 seconds. We all know that TikTok and kids ruined hyperpop. We all know that, but we're gonna get a little deeper. So let's go ahead and jump into the first topic. Hyperpop was a genre that was never taken seriously. And when I say seriously, I mean seriously. A lot of times, man, not just hyperpop, even in the mainstream scene, when new genres come out, people don't take it seriously. That's common. But from the very start until the very end, nobody took hyperpop seriously. People thought it was a joke from the beginning and start. Even the famous hyperpop artists were looked upon as jokes to some degree. With hyperpop just being one big joke overall, it never escaped a area where hyperpop became its own successful genre. It never escaped. Let's get to the next topic, man. All of the artists blew up, and when all of the artists blew up, they took their talents elsewhere. You know, overall hyperpop artists, once they blew up from it, they got out of Dodge. They left the genre. And when I also say left, it wasn't just pack the bags up and leave. What they gradually did, such as Osquin, they gradually turned into more versatile artists, going into usually darker tones. They try to show off they're not just hyperpop. So with that being said, with all of these big artists starting trends of leaving hyperpop, all the smaller artists started to leave. Everybody gradually started changing, and not just to darker undertones. They just gradually started changing to other things. So this started also the decline of hyperpop. This also goes into the next topic, digicore. I still personally don't know what digicore is. If you go on SoundCloud, they have digicore list, and it's mixed with silvercore, nightcore, mixed with all types of core. I can honestly say this, Spotify and also other streaming platforms, they just group everything under digicore now. It's not hyperpop. All of the newer hyperpop songs, if they were to be on Spotify list, they would be under digicore now. Silvercore artists, they're usually under dark trap. As hyperpop was getting bigger, a lot of the higher up people were noticing that it was doing numbers. So companies, etc., streaming platforms, they're seeing the numbers, but they don't know how to group all of this such different music. It's easy just to say it's digicore. So you already have a dying hyperpop. We already have a dying hyperpop. And then on top of that, the name itself, hyperpop, is beginning to be phased out with digicore. So hyperpop is not just only losing its identity, it's also losing its name. So now let's get to the last reason. When a rapper such as Lil Pump, you know, people say he fell off, his fan base from the very start were more of a get clout type of fan base. I want clout type of fan base. Those type of fan bases usually don't last long, which means usually you will fall off in the future. Hyperpop is the exact same. Hyperpop was, let's be real, based on TikTok children. When your whole fan base from the very core, the core structure of your fan base is TikTok children, you're not gonna last long. You have kids with the attention span of 48 seconds supporting a whole genre. It's not gonna work out. I do believe hyperpop was the first actual genre created by TikTok alone. With that being said, it was doomed from the start. Let's have a moment of silence for hyperpop. You know, 2019 to 2021, 2022, I don't know. Let's have a moment of silence. I'm out, man.